Welcome back to Switchback Outdoors. This is the Icon Tour open season. Can't thank you guys enough for watching. If you want to, hit that subscribe button and that alert bell. That way you know when our latest episodes come out. I'll announce the winner of last episode's giveaway for the ReadyWise 2-Day Adventure Meal Pack on episode 14, which comes out February 17th. On today's episode, we are giving away a phone scope. If you guys haven't been able to tell, we do a lot with phone scope. We use them pretty much on every hunt. And if you want your chance to win one of these, leave a comment on this video and be sure to be subscribed to Switchback Outdoors YouTube channel. If you haven't entered in to win the grand prize drawing, I'll leave a link in the description below. As well as, we just launched our podcast. So if you haven't been able to listen to that yet, I'll leave a link in the description below for that as well. Let us know what you think there, and if you want to be part of that podcast, shoot us an email, switchbackoutdoorstv@gmail.com. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. This is the first episode for Colorado. If you guys remember 4 years ago, Colorado is where it all started for the Icon Tour, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Icon Tour open season. We are in a new state. We are back in Colorado. We got in here late yesterday afternoon. We've got some comical figures with us today. Jason's back, and then Walker's coming in tomorrow or today with Dave. But we got in here late last night, or not late last night, late yesterday afternoon. We glassed for a couple hours. We saw one little buck and 4 does and about 1,000 people. There's people everywhere, but that's kind of to be expected. We've kind of learned that. But this is our first full day in here. We're set up here at a glassing spot we've been at in the past and saw some good deer. And yesterday I won a milkshake because I saw the first deer. Today it's $1. So we got to get to work, and I got to get off the camera so I can go spot a deer before these yahoos. But Eli, this is Eli's first out-of-state hunt.
Yep.
Senior year.
Yep.
You ready?
Big
200
bucks.
inches or bust.
200 and nothing.
Okay.
That's right.
We're gonna get to work. Jason's glassing right now, and I'm feeling a little cheated, so I gotta go. So far, this has been a new Colorado. There's 3 of us glassing this huge draw where last time we were here, we saw like 10 bucks and like hundreds of does, and we can't pick up even a deer. So even after yesterday was our #1 spot, we saw just a little buck and 5 does. We're gonna take the time this morning. Normally I'd sit and glass longer, but we kind of all feel like it's a lost cause. We feel like the deer are probably up higher, so we're gonna take this opportunity to go up high and see if we can find something. Sounds like there was a truck with a trailer with a Ranger on it. Sounded like it was playing Little Drummer Boy all way up the hill. We've got 2 trucks parked over here, so still lots of people. Like I said, we couldn't even pick up 1 deer, so we think they're up higher. So we're gonna take the opportunity, and it kind of sucks because we're gonna have to go learn new country. So, but we'll find them. Hello and good afternoon. It's been a long time since I've talked to you guys from this morning. That's because it's been tough. We've covered a ton of country today, and it's been very, very slow. It was up like almost 60 degrees, and we saw 1 buck get shot earlier this morning. I didn't get any video of that. And we saw a lot of deer on private, and then this afternoon we went and shot the rifles. I'll overlay some shots there. We were shooting them out to 679 yards. So we shot rifles, made sure they were all verified, just because we didn't have a whole lot else to do. And now we drove down to a different part of the unit. We'd never been to this spot here before, and I can update you because we're finally seeing deer. We found 2 little bucks chasing a doe, and then a few other does scattered around up here. But that is encouraging because it was pretty hard to keep the morale up after not seeing very many deer, and there's been people everywhere. So literally we've just been driving and glassing and driving and glassing, and that's what we did here. We finally found a spot where we can glass way up, and we found some deer. So it's good. The rut should be going. The deer we saw on private were rutting pretty hard, but other than that, I didn't video a whole lot because you guys would have been really bored, because we were really bored. So we're gonna glass here for a while longer and see if anything bigger shows up. Good morning. It is day 2, and we're set up. The wind's blowing way up on top, so we dropped down here to try to get out of the wind, and we're glassing this big basin in front of us. So we have higher hopes for today, just because it's a new day. The wind's supposed to be blowing like absolute crazy down here today. But we found quite a few deer yesterday, so we might go back over there. A lot of the bucks were on private, but the rut should be kicking in anytime, so we're just going to sit here and glass this morning. I'm sorry for not getting you guys a ton of video. There just really hasn't been a lot to show you. So usually we do a day-by-day series down here, and this whole trip might be rolled into one video if things don't change. But we're going to get to glassing, and hopefully next time you see me I'll be excited because we found a buck.
What's the bet to find the first deer?
Winner gets to pick out one item of clothing that the other one has to wear tomorrow. The other two have to wear tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah?
things just got serious.
It's no deer, so we need a challenge to find some.
How many deer do we see?
5 million. And there's 0. No deer. It's horrible.
So no one's dressing, no one gets to pick out articles of clothing yet.
Nope.
I'm gonna drive
Not
down
yet.
to some private so we can find some, see who wins.
So the bet was, in case you couldn't hear because it was so windy, Eli came up with whoever spots the first deer gets to pick out a couple articles of clothing for the other 2 people to wear. So I gotta think of something really good for Jason and Eli to wear. But this is tough, guys. The wind is howling. We've been glassing this all this morning, and we've seen way more people than deer, and this is normally our go-to spot. Like, this is a spot where we see a lot of deer, and we've shot a lot of deer. And we talked to Brandon and Dave. They got in last night, and they're glassing one of our other spots that we normally go to, and they didn't see a deer. So once again, it's time to do some exploring. We might head back over where we were yesterday evening. It's a pretty far drive, but there was deer over there. I mean, some were on private, there were some on public, but at least there was deer. There's no deer. So time to get a little adventurous, and we'll just keep moving. That's the name of the game. You can't find deer, keep moving until you find them, because we know this area has a lot of deer from years in the past, so we know they're somewhere. We just got to find where they're at. We just drove up to this spot. It's kind of our favorite private spot to glass, that makes sense, just to kind of see what bucks are in the area and the deer in the area. And we drove up here to see if there was any deer, and it's a huge chunk of property that last time we were here 2 years ago, we sat at the same spot, or right here close, and we saw like 20 bucks and hundreds of does. And we just picked it apart for a while, and we saw zero deer. So back to the drawing board, because we were hoping if there's deer here, that means there might be still some up in the higher country we could work in on. But I don't know, some of you might be thinking like, well, why don't you get out and hike and that kind of stuff. It's like, this is kind of country where you have to find the does to start hiking, or else you're just wasting more time. You're better off driving around and glassing more country and finding spots, because there's so few and far between this year that we have to find deer before we want to start getting serious. And like I said, the spot we're at yesterday evening is about the best spot we've seen so far, so we might have to head that direction. We found deer, and Jason's gonna go shoot it, and then he's gonna go to prison.
I got a cat.
Found a couple bucks right over here, and of course they're on private. But we're finding deer, which is good, because we moved another spot we'd never been to before. So that's some exciting news for you guys. But I got some good phone scope footage of them. We're gonna just keep working our way and finding new places. So you can tell we're having a good time. So now we just need to find some deer on public.
Brandon,
What's up?
What's your thoughts this year on Colorado?
There's no deer. No deer in Colorado. I don't know why.
They all left.
Yeah, they all were burned out of here, apparently.
Maybe it's like the Infinity Wars when what's his name snapped his fingers.
That's what it feels like.
They vanished.
They vanished. Exactly. The deer are gone. The warm weather is here, and that's about the size of it.
So what camera did you get, Rob?
Right on that road.
You guys, we found a buck. As you can tell, it's windy, and he's not a very big buck, just a 2x2. But we found some other does up higher. I've got phone scope footage of all these deer. We've got 2 does up high up in some down timber. We've got this little buck chasing a doe. So I think we're gonna watch here for a while in hopes that a bigger buck will show up. So, but at least we found some deer. But the wind's picking up. It's kind of died down right now, but we've had some strong gusts. But we found some deer, so that's exciting. It is the evening of the second day in here, and we found this area late last night, and there's no roads up behind us or up over where we're going. So Eli and I made our way up. We're gonna hit this one main ridge, and Jason worked his way at the bottom. We're kind of hunting towards each other, but we saw a few does on the way in here, and we left that small fork and horn and those does just because there really wasn't, well, there wasn't a big enough buck in there, and there wasn't a great place. So the wind's blowing, but we're making our way up here, and hopefully there's no people where we're at, so that's the one saving grace. So now we just got to find some deer. We've been making our way through these quakies, and we found a deer. We're just a little too late, and he needed to be a little bigger. We've been fighting our way through some nasty brush, having to get down on our hands and knees, but hopefully it's gonna pay off. We'll be able to see over this next rise. We are making our way back down. Made a good loop up here, saw some great country. Felt good to stretch the legs a little bit, but couldn't pick up anything up in these openings. Pretty good openings in the quakies, but we couldn't find anything. The wind is howling, as I'm sure you can tell, so we're dropping down.
Yeah, sir, are you catching any deers?
Caught a couple.
Yeah?
Trees.
Big ones?
Trees. Yeah. That's steep for an old guy.
Air's thin.
No, the air's good.
Air's good?
Just old. Maybe a little fat.
How high did you get up to?
Is there 2 guys up above you? Did you guys see 2 guys? Did you see me? Above you? I walked clear up.
Were we sitting down?
You just turned around, I think, to walk back.
Huh.
And I was up above you. Because the fence line goes like that.
Yeah.
I went clear up to the fence line and walked back. As far as I could go. Then there's a guy with some dogs on the lake, and I was like, there's no point in being over there.
Good day.
Switchback outdoors.
We are just heading back. We just saw a decent 4-point right on the edge of some private property tonight, so it's been the name of the game. All the decent bucks are on private. And then we hiked. Jason loved that.
It's great. Yeah.
Liked it, loved it.
I'm gonna shoot myself.
And there was nothing up there. So that's, like I said, that's been the hard thing is, I mean, we'd like to get out and hike and move, cover some country, but until we see some deer, it makes it kind of hard to go check some places out. But we've just been slowly checking places off and knowing where not to go. We just got to know where to go, and then we'll be in business. But tomorrow's a new day. We got some weather coming in, and hopefully that'll be the change that we need, and these deer will be moving even more. So fingers crossed tomorrow will be the day.
For you, Ross.
You guys catch catching anything?
Yeah, we caught something.
Caught one.
Yeah, it's weird.
Dude,
Looks a little different than the normal deer around here, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with this weird thing.
that's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
We've always talked about it.
That's what we.
Yeah. It was pure luck. Like, we just, like, driving down this, like, well, let's just see, right before light. Sure enough, I'm like, oh, there's a deer, Dave, stop. Look at it, and I'm like, oh, it's a buck. And I'm like, I think it's a whitetail. He's like, it ain't a whitetail. And I'm like, yeah, it is, it's a freaking whitetail. And
So I
that
said,
was the end of
so
it.
I'm like, you better film this.
Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead. Boom. Dropped it like it's hot.
That's awesome.
It was fun, man.
Eli, we had you a buck too.
We did have you a buck, Eli. We tried to call you.
Well, it was across over there, but it was on.
It was on public.
It was
right
on
there.
public. Yeah.
We shouldn't have.
probably
We
a
shouldn't have been
little 3x4.
hiking. What the heck were we doing hiking?
I know, seriously.
wrong with you guys?
That's what you always.
You'll learn from the old guys one day.
Are you? It's going down.
Thank you for watching episode 13 of the Icon Tour Open Season. On this video, we're giving away a phone scope. All you have to do to enter is be sure to be subscribed to Switchback Outdoors YouTube channel and leave a comment on this episode. If you want to, tell a friend about us, and you can share this video on social media. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.